I might get hate for this, but I think that reading wrap-ups are harmful. And before you come for me, let me explain. The number of books that I think is harmful.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Ashton from Lo-Fi Book Club, and today we're going to talk about a topic that's recently popped up on TikTok and has stirred up a little bit of a debate, surprise, surprise, and that is reading wrap-ups. To be more specific, it's telling people how many books you've read that month, or even like that week, that day, that weekend. The video in question, which was circulating on TikTok, has now been removed, and it was of a creator bringing up this exact topic. This video by Joe on TikTok captures the first part of the original video, and he also shares his thoughts on the topic.
I might get hate for this, but I think that reading wrap-ups are harmful. And before you come for me, let me explain. The number of books that I think is harmful.
Hi, absolutely no hate to the creator who made this video. I just think this topic is very interesting. I really feel like we as a society have really lost the plot, especially when we're determining what's considered problematic and what isn't. Reading wrap-ups are not problematic. Discussing what you read for the month and telling people how many books you read in that month is also not problematic. It's also not harmful. Like, this is such a weird take. If you are looking at someone's reading wrap-up video and you see that they read 15 books, and that makes you feel really bad about yourself for some reason, that has everything to do with you and nothing to do with the person who made the video. If anything, you should be self-reflecting and trying to figure out why this video that isn't doing anything wrong is harming you so severely. I also think that we as a society, we as Book Talk really need to build a backbone, because this is getting a little crazy.
So, are reading wrap-ups motivating and inspiring, or do they create unnecessary pressure and competition? Let's break it down a little bit and look into whether sharing how many books you read each month is a fun habit or a harmful trend. Reading wrap-ups are everywhere. I mean, I've got one coming up too. You can find them on BookTube, Bookstagram, BookTok. They are everywhere. But are they actually helpful, or are they making reading feel like a numbers game? Reading wrap-ups started as a way to track progress and share recommendations, especially on Goodreads and places. But in recent years, some readers have felt pressured to read more just to keep up with the trend. I mean, for many people, even including myself really, seeing other people share their wrap-ups can be super motivating. And it's fun to set goals and track progress and celebrate your reading accomplishments. It's also just generally nice to get recommendations, especially if it's from a friend or even a content creator that you follow and you trust their opinion. But for some people, it can feel like a bit of a competition. Like you're not a real reader if you're not finishing a huge stack of books every month. Couldn't be me. I wish. Some readers have expressed feeling guilty that they're not reading as much as other people, and this leads to burnout or even picking up shorter books just to boost numbers. Not saying that you shouldn't read short stories, but I understand that people just want to, it's a numbers game. I just want to hit a high number. And I know I've discussed this in the comments with some of you before about how even if you read one book a year, one book a month, it still makes you a reader. At least I feel so. But I do understand how if you are the person reading one book a month or one book a year, perhaps it can make you feel like, why am I not reading as quick? Why can't I consume so many books in a month, in a week? But life gets in the way, and we all have so many other things going on. Sometimes we just don't have time to read. I do feel like having the time to read is such a privilege, and also for me, it's having the headspace. I might have the time, but it depends what I want to put apply my brain to at that particular time. Depending on what's going on, I might not want to read. Our next TikTok from Emma Rupard Travis makes some really good points.
Hi, I'm a book talker, and normally I stay as far away from any drama on Book Talk as I can, but there's some drama going on right now that I would like to share my insight on. There's a creator on this app who has shared her opinion that it is harmful and problematic for people to be filming and posting monthly reading wrap-ups, and that it's torture to hear how many books someone else has read. And I feel like I try really hard on this platform to share my opinion that any amount of books is a good amount of books. So with that being said, I in no way think that sharing reading wrap-ups is harmful or problematic. I always say that I find it so interesting that sometimes people will comment on my videos saying, I can't believe you read that many books this month, but then I might see another person's video who read more than me and I'm like, wow, how are they reading so many books? But instead of seeing that as a negative thing, I choose to see that as an inspiring thing. I think it's so cool that there's so many different types of reader in the reading community and in the book talk community. And as I've said a million times, no amount of books is a bad amount of books. Quality matters more than quantity. And I absolutely love getting to watch other creators reading wrap-ups to see not only how many books they read, but what books they read, and to hear them talk about them. And usually I find new books that I want to read from watching videos like that. So I genuinely do not understand how reading wrap-up videos could be considered problematic, because it's just people sharing their love for reading and wrapping up what their reading month was like. No two readers or reading journeys or specific reading months are going to look the same, and I think that's so refreshing. So I guess this is just my PSA to say, if anyone else saw that video and felt guilty for posting reading wrap-ups, you shouldn't. I want to watch your reading wrap-ups, and I love sharing reading wrap-ups, so keep posting them.
At the end of the day, like Emma says, reading isn't a competition. Everyone reads at their own pace, and the number of books you read does not define you as a reader. And like they clearly just said, quality over quantity always. Social media does play a huge role in this, as it does with most things. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok thrive on visuals and seeing people post massive book stacks or record-breaking reading numbers, and it can make people feel like they're falling behind. It creates an environment where reading becomes more about performance than personal enjoyment. The comparison trap is real, but that's just social media, right? Like we all do it. And I do understand the flip side, like when you're seeing people reading 10, 15 or 20 books a month, it's easy to feel like you need to keep up, even if things like, your personal life, your energy levels or your schedules, your preferences don't align with that pace. You still feel like you want to try and keep up, or that you would like to. However, if this is something you struggle with, because I'm sure a lot of people do struggle with this comparison to others who read a lot, I want you to try and focus on what you enjoyed rather than how much you read. Perhaps don't use platforms like Goodreads if you find it creates an unhealthy reading habit. Maybe it's worth journaling your reads instead. That might be a better place to start. And maybe it's because I'm a millennial, I'm so used to like comparing myself to people online, especially like when it came to like my weight and things or like my appearance. It's just kind of ingrained in us, unfortunately. But you have to remember that people work multiple jobs. Some people have kids and responsibilities. Whatever it is in life can sometimes leave you with little to no time to read or even listen to audiobooks. And right now I feel like the world is quite chaotic. If you only have the brain capacity of an evening to binge watch dog and cat videos and not read, that's also okay. So a bit of a personal opinion, I don't think they're problematic at all. In fact, I think I might have even read a January wrap. I'm doing one. It might come out before or after this video, I'm not really sure. I'm doing a wrap up of some books that I read in January. As someone who literally until January read one book a month, I don't know what happened in January where I found myself having time to read 4. No, yeah. It was crazy. So this is a book channel. I do feel like it's my responsibility to consume more books if this is what I'm going to do as a hobby. So January might have been a freak month. I'm not really sure. We'll see. I mean, February is going slow. But sometimes I do look at people who have read, I read one book a day. I wish. I mean, I don't think it's problematic. I love to know what they've read. I love recommendations and reading people's like top 5, top 10, or their best horrors, their best romanticities, best dark romance. I like it when someone else has done the legwork for me, if that makes sense, and I don't have to go into it blind. I don't have to go researching the best top horror. Someone's done it for me, put in a lovely little list with like some stars. Amazing. Love it. I don't find it problematic, but I can see why people do. So what do you think? Do you think reading wrap-ups are inspiring, or do they just create unnecessary pressure? I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know down below. Thank you so much for coming on this problematic journey with me. No, it wasn't problematic at all. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next week. Bye.